This I found interesting and I disagree with. It's ranking all 32 NFL teams' off-season moves. This is from CBSSports.com. They go number 1, Lions, number 2, Jets. I'm assuming they think they're going to get Aaron Rodgers or their Aaron Rodgers deal is done. Number 3, the Bears. Remember, they traded out of number 1. They ranked the Browns at 21. They paid quite a bit for run stuffer Dalvin Tomlinson. They're counting on younger vets like Obo Okunrankwo and Juan Thornhill to reach new heights and new scenery. It seems kind of low. I'm not. You see, they signed Posick. They traded for Elijah Moore. They kind of addressed all of the needs that were there. So I'm not sure how you end up at 21 unless maybe it's big names. They didn't get any big names.
Yeah, it's probably the big name stuff, right? Because that's what somebody who's going to be looking at the team from a national perspective is going to be looking for. The idea that we paid too much for Dalvin Tomlinson, I thought was a little bit of a hilarious thing when you look at like the money that went to other defensive tackles. I don't think that was that much for him comparatively. But also, the Jets at 3 is fascinating to me because it's contingent on this belief that Aaron Rodgers is going to continue to be himself. But like, he wasn't good last year. He was like, he was like Matt Stafford good, which is a huge step down from what Aaron Rodgers has been his whole career. And we're just kind of assuming that a dude changing cities, changing teams at 40 years old, that's just going to work. And I understand it worked for Tom Brady. But one thing Aaron Rodgers has proven not to be is Tom Brady. Like, he's not really even a contemporary of Tom Brady. And that's no disrespect to Aaron Rodgers. It's just the truth, though. Tom has 7 Super Bowl rings, had 6 by the time he switched teams. There was a different aura around him than when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, who he's kind of known for being a little wacky the last couple of years. So I just don't get the confidence that everybody has in the New York Jets. And it kind of reminds me of when everybody was hyping up the Broncos last year, despite the obvious flaws on that team and not seeing how that could go wrong. And it's like we're doing this again with the Jets, and it's almost like history repeats itself because everybody got this kind of a blind look in their eye when Brett Favre got traded to the Jets. In what was that, 2009 that he got traded to the Jets? And like, that team didn't bear much fruit. He ended up being in Minnesota like pretty soon after that. So I just don't get this immediate assumption that the Jets are going to be great, this immediate assumption that everything that the Lions do is going to work out. I think this is more of a, hey, who can we put on the picture that would bring in people? And I guess Aaron Rodgers is on the top of that list, so you got to rank him high.
About the Browns, is there anything that they haven't gotten that you would like them to get? Is there any area that in free agency that you fail in? And the other thing is free agency, they're guys that the other team is letting go out to free agency. So they're not perfect players by any stretch.
Yeah, and it's like, are there things I would love the Browns to do? Sure, I would love us to have Javon Hargraves and trade for Nick Bosa. But, like, that's not within the realm of realistic ability within the Browns' cap constraints. So they can't do those things. But for what they could do, I thought they did a very good job. I think that should be put in there. But also, like, remember those rankings of quarterback additions last year where everybody was like, hey, the Broncos are number 1 and the Browns, oh my God, they only signed Jacoby Brissett, put him at 9, and Jacoby Brissett and Marcus Mariota of all people ended up being, Geno Smith just starting, ended up being the 2 biggest moves and the best moves that people made. These lists kind of get made with a different formula than what actually makes sense on football. And I think this is one of the times where it's like, oh, okay, this is more of an article for us to conversate about than it is a serious proclamation of what's going to happen this year.